The key component of good piano technique is how to get out of your own way as much as possible. Hello, welcome to Rock with Roxanne. Today we're going to explore 12 tips and techniques to help you with your piano technique. Most of these technique tips, except for maybe a couple little personal spins I have, came from Myriad School of Music in San Mateo. They trained me to be one of their piano teachers, and this training has been so helpful. It definitely improved my playing. My fingers hurt less. I'm able to play more difficult things more easily at faster speeds because I have less tension in my playing in general. If you're teaching yourself, definitely make sure to set up another angle to see yourself. Like you could set up a mirror off to the side, you could have your phone or laptop off to the side, maybe a one-person Zoom meeting. We are all our own best teachers. You could have a lesson with yourself on Zoom. Okay, that's enough. 12/16/20. So, what do you think? Pretty good. Even with the extra cameras, there's nothing like getting a private lesson to troubleshoot things you might not even be aware that you're doing, that might be making it more hard to play certain pieces than it needs to be. If there are any techniques that you like that aren't in this video, please also say so in the comments because I would love to know what those are. And I bet there are other people watching this that would also love to know what those are. And don't forget to like the video so other people can find it too. Subscribe to stay involved with the channel. And hit the bell! You won't see my next videos probably unless you hit the bell. First category, body alignment. This is what sets up all the other parts for success. We need to keep our feet flat on the ground when we play, because when you don't, it creates unnecessary tension and stress on your back muscles. This is common in shorter people and kids, where depending on your age, you might not feel it acutely, but nevertheless, you'll slouch over time without thinking about it because your natural response will be to relax when your back muscles feel stressed. So to help prevent that, it's good to have a book or a stool or a towel, shirts, old instrument you never play anymore, something that can help you get your feet flat on the ground. Next, we need to know how to sit. You want to make sure you push your tailbone back behind you like I'm doing here. I'm using my hands to help me push my hips back. And when you sit on your tailbone, it looks like this. It's very common. That makes it harder to sit up straight. You want to create a platform by pushing your sit bones back behind you like I just did. Next, you need to make sure that your elbows are aligned with the white keys. If you're slouching, then your elbow will naturally end up dipping below the white keys. And that will make it difficult to have your hands be the shape that you want, which we'll talk about. If you're up too high, then it's just awkward to play in general. So you want to be sitting up straight and get books or cushions to sit on if you need to try and have your elbow as parallel with the white keys as you can get without your knees hitting the bottom of the piano. We need to have a thumb dot. Your thumb dot is what makes a flat thumb rise a little bit to be like that. Your thumb dot is located on the corner of your nail like this, and if you focus on making that be the only part that touches the piano, you will naturally raise your thumb to this angle. Other side of the thumb dot, we want a tall pinky. So it's not flat like this. We want it to be angled up. It's okay if it ends up being straight in order to create a frame for the hand. The rest of your fingers will be a natural looking rainbow shape. This is the same shape your fingers take when they just rest by your side. Not chopsticks, not completely flat, not a claw either when your fingers will slip towards you because they're two on their fingertips, but shaped more like a rainbow instead. Next up is the hand family. This is the idea that we don't want our fingers to stretch too far apart from each other, like they're in a family together and it'll make them sad if they do that. When you stretch too far apart, you're putting unnecessary tension on the tendons in your hands. So instead, have your fingers move with each other. Don't do a big stretch like this. Let go of the key down below. Let your hand actually move. It might take practice to hit the same keys, but you'll learn, just like anything else. This kind of stretching is usually unnecessary. Now, how do you actually play the piano keys? One way to think about it is you need to use your arm, not your fingers, to play the piano. So if you think that there's a frog in your elbow and every time it hops, so does your arm, then you can quickly get the idea. You don't want to let that become a floppy wrist though, right? No fish in the wrist, only frog in the elbow. And this will help your arm be like a lever that goes up and down with the force that you need in order to get a full tone out of the piano. Next, we need to learn about forward delivery. This is the idea that when you play piano, you want to think about pushing your energy forward and down into the keys, and not pulling backwards off the keys. When you pull backwards, your knuckles collapse. If you go forwards, they don't as much. And this will prevent pain in your knuckles over time, as well as make it easier to play fast technical passages because there's more space underneath each finger in order to change your fingerings around when you need to. Plus, it improves your tone quality to think forward and down. Along the same train of thought as your arm playing the piano, not the fingers, you can think of your elbow leading your hand instead of your hand leading your elbow. Notice how my elbow moves when I'm changing my fingering in this scale, how it moves out. This makes it much easier for me to change my fingers and much more fluid. Even when you just play a 5-finger pattern, you can have a bit of elbow movement because the elbow is staying behind each finger as I play this, so naturally it moves from side to side as my hand does. This will make it so your fingers don't have to work as hard to press the keys, and you won't struggle to play quickly in faster passages either if you get used to having a bit of natural elbow movement to help you. Last but not least, thinking of unnecessary tension. People will tend to stick up their fingers when they're not playing. This is super common, especially with kids, but also adults. And the only way to fix it is to just be aware of it and practice relaxing your fingers when they're not playing. A common one is the overly polite pinky, seen here, and another one is the agitated spider, where the front part of your hands, like your index fingers and your middle fingers, will come up while the back half of your hand plays. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I make educational content about music for general audiences as well as specific videos for kids. If you have kids or you know anyone with kids, please direct them to my kids playlist. Currently it's mostly piano tutorials and I plan on continuing to expand that. I also make skits that relate to music that I think are funny, and if you have my sense of humor, you might think that they're funny too. The most recent one is this guy. I'll probably be able to put a video here. Okay, thanks, bye!